Welcome back to another episode of Out of Home Insider. Have you heard the one about the vaccine billboard truck? Whether you have or you haven't, today's episode is all about how to use a simple idea, clever copywriting, and out of home to create an, all pun intended, viral campaign. Join creative director of Boone Oakley, David Boone, and Crenshaw Visions founder, Garrett Crenshaw, as we unpack the story of the Don't Get Vaccinated Wilmore Funeral Home mobile billboard truck campaign that has taken the internet by storm. And if you're looking for a creative way to use mobile billboard trucks in your next campaign, visit onescreen.ai and schedule a demo. You'll learn all about how to use mobile billboard trucks for your next campaign, from their capabilities to pricing to availability and best practices. Visit onescreen.ai and schedule a demo today. Or if you're a media owner, visit onescreen.ai and click Get Listed to be featured in the first ever free public access directory for all things out of home. Without further ado, let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to the Out of Home Insider Show, a podcast like no other, hosted by the one and only Tim Rowe. Get ready to have some knowledge dropped on you and to be entertained, because nothing's more valuable than food for your brain. So sit back, relax, we're about to dive in as the best industry podcast is about to begin.
Some folks were just sitting around on their couch wondering, gosh, I wonder if Tim's going to go live without a Home Insider today. Well, if you were, we are, because we've got a heck of a story here. Garrett Crenshaw, welcome back. David Oakley, welcome for the first time to the podcast. You guys have made quite a little stir down there in the Carolinas. Garrett, what's going on?
I would say we have. It's been good, man. It's just it's been a wildfire, as we say, but I give the props to David on the creativity, and he's, as I've done some research, he's been in the game for a little bit, so he's deserved the props and the campaign that he's launched, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. And
all Garrett is saying is that I'm old. He's just saying I'm an old guy.
No, I'm just giving you your flowers, as they would say.
Well, it seems like just getting started. I remember I was sitting up, I don't know, late at night. What time was it, Garrett? Like 11:30 at night. And I saw a picture on Twitter that said, "Don't get vaccinated." I'm like, looking at the truck, I'm like, gosh, that looks a lot like one of Garrett's trucks, because you've got such a unique look. Like I haven't seen anyone else with trucks that look like yours. And I zoomed in, whoosh, Crenshaw Visions. I'm like, I know that guy. This seems like something that's going to go viral. So if you haven't seen it, or if you're tuning in on audio, this is all about the Don't Get Vaccinated mobile LED truck. Garrett Crenshaw, David Oakley, the two masterminds that brought this together. David, you haven't been here before. Garrett has. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay. I'm David Oakley, creative director of Boone Oakley. We're an ad agency in Charlotte. We specialize in doing things that get noticed, talked about, and shared. That's what we're really about. And this one, certainly that happened. And, we took on this project as a passion project at the agency. And we wanted to work with StarMed, who has vaccinated more people in Mecklenburg County than any of the other healthcare systems. And I got my vaccine. There are several other people did, but they have a great social media presence. And we wanted to work with them. And we actually were thinking about it one morning. We had an idea about how we could, say get vaccinated in a different way. And that's kind of how it started. And anyway.
It's a brilliant idea. So, naturally we've got to go know more. It's the simplest copy, which is typically the trademark of a great campaign. It just says, "Don't get vaccinated, Wilmore Funeral Home." You've got the shirt on. I got to get my hands on one of those. Is Wilmore Funeral Home, is it a real funeral home? Like, what's the tie-in there?
Well, it's not a real funeral home. And the idea came about, we were talking with another person who works here, Mary Gross, a writer. And, we were trying to think about like who benefits, from people not being vaccinated, or who benefits. I mean, it's kind of morbid, but who benefits when people pass away? And it's like the business of funeral homes do well. And we're like, oh, well, maybe, the funeral home should say, we don't want your business, get vaccinated. And, that was the first thought. And that's kind of the idea behind it. But we decided to flip it and have the funeral home just come out and blatantly say, don't get vaccinated. Because number one, just those three words are so polarizing and so shocking. And there are a lot of people who, and understandably, there are both sides to this, that don't want to get vaccinated. And I'm surprised there hasn't been more of a campaign on that side. But so when people first see this message, they do think it's a campaign saying, being serious about don't get vaccinated. And people react with like, what is that? And then they look down and see that it's sponsored by a funeral home, which is like, what in the world is that? Now, is that real? Is it, oh my God, a funeral home is actually trying to profit off of this, and then, I think the thing that makes this really good, and to me, is the combination of using outdoor, which is, as I said before, my favorite medium. But the web address on this linking to the Wilmore Funeral Home homepage is what sends it over the edge, because when you go to the homepage, it says there's a button that says "Get Vaccinated Now" or "We'll see you soon." And then it's like, what is this? So there, and then you click to it, and it takes you to StarMed, so you can make an appointment immediately. It's a pretty simple idea, all based on a great outdoor execution and a mobile execution.
Did you know that it was going to go on a truck when you came up with the idea? Like, you knew you were going to take it out of home. How did you decide on a mobile LED truck?
Well, it's funny because we actually thought like, oh, wow, could we do this on is this something that you could use as a banner ad, some kind of ad online? And we're like, no. And we actually looked into doing it as a more traditional billboard. And we looked into that a little bit here in Charlotte, and we kept thinking about it. And we're like, if it's on a highway, it's great. And outdoor is great. As I said, I love outdoor. We felt like a mobile billboard would let us move it around and go right to where our audience was. And we kept thinking that where would there be a great audience? And we're like, well, what about, tailgating before a Carolina Panthers football game? And there's just, thousands and thousands of people on the street, like hanging out. And this is the perfect place, the perfect medium to drive around and just be in front of a lot of different people.
So then you call Garrett. Did you have you guys worked together before? Is this the first time?
No, first time.
First time y'all worked together. So Garrett, your phone rings, which it's been doing a lot of recently. We'll talk about some of the media buzz y'all have created, but your phone rings and David's got this wild idea. What, as a media owner, these are decisions that you're faced with all the time of, is this a message that I run? Is it not? Right. I have a obligation to, it's the people's space, as Rick Robinson so beautifully puts it. How do you respond?
Well, I took the call from David, and he said, hey, this is, kind of gave me his background and whatnot. And he said, he kind of gave me the idea of the ad, and he's going to send it to me afterwards. And I said, well, like any other ad, I want to take a look at it before, as long as it doesn't go against my morals or my ethics or my religious beliefs or what have you, we should be good to go. So he said, well, it is a little, I think the word he used is racy, or I can't remember the exact word he used, but I got the ad, and he kind of explained to me the underlying message of it, and I understood what he was wanting to accomplish. So I was good to go with it. And then when the campaign started, it was literally within probably an hour and a half. And my good friend.
So you drive out there. It's the Sunday. Yeah. Was it a Sunday game?
Yeah, it was a Sunday game, and
Sunday game. So you head out there in the morning of the game.
Well, I had a driver drive, so I was actually out of town. But he
make
said
that mistake again.
It's on Twitter now, and someone posted it, and he's like, we're getting some looks, good and bad, because people's had time to take it in, and like you said, it was getting to people's faces right in the tailgating areas, and it just kept going, and it was unbelievable. But as far as the conversation with David, to me, I understood the underlying message of what he was trying to get across. And, in our business and my business, I'm just here to provide a service for our clients. I'm not here to choose a side or tell someone to do a certain thing or not. My first job is to deliver on my business and my service. And that's what I try to take pride on in my business, is being as transparent as possible to anybody. Just say, hey, we can or we can't do this. And so we, like I said before, and a couple other interviews or people that has asked me, we're for freedom of speech. And I think David used that very, very heavy and got it to exactly the results that he was looking for. Actually, he probably didn't think it was going to be this wildfire, but hey, it's been a good run.
And it's gotten a ton of media attention. I did a Google search before. I think it still got it up here. Just vaccine billboard truck. You're like the first few pages, at least. There's 47,000 results. I don't know if they're all yours, because I'm sure that those are all the varying keywords in there. But this has gone beyond viral. I mean, this has gone absolutely haptic.
Yeah, I mean, it was unreal. And like the first interview we did with WBTV in Charlotte, he was asking me how many phone calls. At that time, it was probably a couple hundred. But throughout the whole week, I'm not sure exactly how many. I want to talk to my Verizon and see how many calls I got. It was north of 500-600 it was 100 a day. It was media requests, inquiries, I'm sure. Correct. And there was like David said, having my voicemail was full at the time, and I didn't realize that. And he's like, that might've caused more stir and attention. All these media outlets are trying to figure out who is behind this campaign. And, but once I got the voicemails cleared up, they started rolling in for sure.
I'm sure
from everywhere.
Sure.
I mean, it was from the West Coast, East Coast. I mean, South. I mean, it was every state possible, just trying to get information and understand what this is about. And this is honestly powerful to, have a hot take like this. Obviously, when you're talking something that is powerful as COVID and things like that, it's just become so political and all this. It's just a very hot topic right now, and it causes a stir. So we definitely continued and the stir of the audience and people wanted to understand what was behind it. So I'm here trying to explain exactly what it was, and it's a pro-vaccination campaign. So that's what I lead with. So, we're proud to be a part of it, and honestly are, humbled by the moment of getting the attention that we've gotten.
I can't agree with you more, Garrett. I'm completely humbled by it, and like, holy moly, we had no idea that this would take off like it did. All I was hoping for, honestly, was just like the message to get out there, some people to talk about it, and maybe we can get like maybe one person vaccinated. Because to me, if we got one person vaccinated, it was worth my time. It was worth the money we spent on it. It was all worth it. And it's been much more than that. To go back to what Garrett was saying, like the first day, like, on Sunday, when it's left, our parking lot at like 8:45 or whatever, Sunday morning before the game started going around, I think it was probably around 10 o'clock. I got a text from one of the marketing directors over at StarMed, the head of social media at StarMed, Adam Hummel. And he's like, holy moly, Rex Chapman just retweeted it. And he sent it to me, and it said, Wilmore Funeral Home for the win. And I'm like, oh my God. He's got a couple million followers. I was like, this is going to blow up. And I thought that was it. It would get sent around on Twitter. I thought that would kind of be it. And, I went on and like tailgated and went to the Panthers game and was kind of looking at my phone during the afternoon. Like,
you were at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the game. So I went to the game, and, I'm a big Panthers fan. And anyway, so what Garrett was getting at is it's one of the unintended consequences of how this actually it was kind of a gift is how it worked. Was one, he's got that big ass phone number on his truck. And I think that's genius.
Bravo.
That is genius for that to always be on it. Should always have a way to contact you. But the fact that his voicemail quickly filled up and no one could get in touch with him added to the mystery of it. It's like, who is this from? What is this all about? That, you know, they had gone to the website, reporters, people who were curious about it, and then it linked them to StarMed. So they contacted StarMed about it, and StarMed was like, well, you know, we're, you know, not sure about it. You know, we're not. They were trying to play it off like they didn't really know about it either. They knew about it. Let's just say that, but they were like cautious about it because you're putting a pretty provocative message out there. And I completely understand, you know, their approach to it was really smart for their company as well. But what I loved that they did was that they had their head of their physicians, their top physician, send a quote out basically saying that any message that is pro-vaccination, I am 100% behind. And if it gets one person vaccinated, it's a success. So I support it. So that was him personally saying that. So that was a good thing, but it kept going and no one still knew what it was. And Garrett's phone was getting blown up. And I woke up Monday morning and it kind of hit me like, man, I feel so bad for Garrett because he's probably like losing business because people can't get through to him because his phone is all, you know, all busy. And I called him Monday morning and I said, Garrett, you know, I'm wondering if like some of those people that are calling might be reporters. So you kind of look at them. If you hear from any reporters or anything, just send them my way. Just tell them to call me. You know, so he gave I think the first one that you gave the number to was, I think, WBTV in Charlotte, maybe, or it was Newsweek. Might have been Newsweek. I don't. This
is kind of a funny story too. Right, quick it's a quick story, but you know, these calls kept coming in, and you know, I was like, I'm just declining them because I need to, you know, I'm still running the business too, and I'm trying to say, hey, they'll leave a voicemail, but it was oddly, I answered probably that first Monday or I can't remember the day after it was. I probably answered maybe 4 or 5, or 3 or 4 of them, and one of them was WBTV, and they just got through. It was just a happenstance that I answered that, and yeah, but I answered there, and then we did the interview on Monday, and then once that had happened, it was on all outlets, and then I think that's when it went national after about Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday is when it started picking up bigger news outlets. But just happened to answer WBTV's call, and out of 3 or 4 calls out of probably 120 that day.
Every billboard owner in America wishes that they had that same problem right now.
Well,
so hey, kudos.
Say it's not all been business. There's been a lot of people just trying to understand the information, which I think was David's whole, you know, campaign was, hey, what is the actual message here? And that's what we were doing for the first couple of days. But yeah, it was. In business, you always have to have your phone on. So, you know, I'm not at fault for getting that many phone calls. It's just a part of business, and that's what we do. You have to take care of it.
So any idea, like obviously just, you know, we could look at this one and seat of the pants feel say, hey, this was a success. It was absolutely a monster. Any idea on like how many impressions online it generated across all the outlets or all of the media coverage, or like just what's the feedback been like from StarMed, David? Post campaign now.
I just got in right here. Let me look at the actual figure was given to me today. The total number of impressions is a shitload.
That's an exact unit of measure, in case you're wondering.
Shitload. But the thing that's to me makes me really happy is that StarMed in the first, what day is today? Wednesday. In the first week, the first 4 days after, compared to the 4 days before, they had a 22% rise in vaccinations that they have done. And over the first week, I just talked with them. They were here about an hour ago, delivering these shirts. They said now for the first full 9 days after it, they were up 28%. which is a lot of vaccinations. That's huge. So I feel like it was very successful from that point of view. And that really makes me happy. It makes me even more happy than all of the impressions, but I really believe that all the impressions led to that. So
translate to.
Yeah,
sure.
translate to
I started thinking about that too, because after the days went on, I'm like, we should get some analytics behind this. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, after the first day, I'm like, there's you have a social media account, a couple social media accounts on Twitter that's 500,000 to 1 million. Obviously there's organic impressions. Then you have news outlets on OTT, and then you have websites and things like that, and not including the impressions that it got from the truck when it was there at the stadium with tens of thousands. By the end of the week, I would say at least 10 million plus is what I would guess with all the outlets. It was astounding.
Just pulling up some Google Trends stuff to see if there was anything crazy here. I don't know. We'll have to do a deeper analysis someday. This has been just an absolutely wild story. David, anything coming out next? What's the next big campaign out of Boone Oakley? What do you got? What do y'all got to do next? I don't know.
We have to kind of keep it under wraps until we bring it out. But I will tell you that a lot of our campaigns involve outdoor, and I can't wait to work with Garrett again. He's got a great business going. He came highly recommended to me, and I think he needs to do more stuff up in Charlotte, because I think it's a market that's ripe for more mobile outdoor, and I think that he will get a lot of he'll get some new business out of this. Hopefully, I think so anyway.
Correct. I think I'm excited to continue to work with you, David, and the creativity of it, and just continue to grow our business. And hopefully we can get some national brands to see that, hey, this mobile advertising is here and is here to stay. And I'm glad to be hopefully, as like you said, in Charlotte is not as prominent, but Crenshaw Visions is here to help you in any way that we can, to deliver a message. And I would recommend using David as a creative message. So if you need a creative director, I would definitely use Boone Oakley, because obviously they shock the world.
And I support this message. Gentlemen, it's been great having you both. Garrett, where do folks find you? I know we've got the number on the side here. 803-804.
Everyone's got my phone number now.
They've got your number now. Do you have a website? Do you even do the internet?
CrenshawVisions.com, and it's at Crenshaw Visions on all social media platforms. And I'm so blessed to be a part of this, and humbled, like we said before, and just can't wait for the future, for the next year, and just see how much impact we can make.
Awesome. Great job. David, how do folks find Boone Oakley?
Well, if you'll move your head a little bit, they can see it behind you.
There it is. It looks like there's a fire across the street, by the way.
What is that?
I have no idea. I just assumed there was a dumpster on fire across the street.
Well, I don't know what it was, but I think that the fact that photograph, we shot it, and that was a quick decision on Sunday morning. That was right after the truck left the Boone Oakley parking lot and was driving down the street, and we caught it right in front of the sign, which actually was
the best picture.
It's a great picture.
I mean, honestly,
best picture there was.
I got to figure out what that fire is. I've got to look at that.
Right, it looks like there's smoke in there too. It's very strange.
It does. I don't think there was. I mean, maybe people were grilling, tailgating right there.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know, but
or maybe that was just the start of it going viral.
It could have been.
It was an asteroid.
He's calling it a wildfire. Maybe that was the beginning.
Yeah, maybe. That's awesome.
All right. Well, it's been a lot of fun. We're going to cut the live stream here. So if you have tuned into this, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out in the middle of the day. As always, make sure to subscribe, like, follow, do all of those things. And we'll see y'all next time.
Quarter century, I finally came to my senses. I finally got my hand up on the tinted Benz, kid. I see the world clear through my tinted lenses. With the dream and the drive, the possibilities endless. Now print that, send this all the way to Tokyo. Take a trip down south, down to Mexico. Next stop, Shanghai, the world-class trade show. First class all the way, cause that's how we roll. Yeah, call us the rock star businessman. Rockin' shows, we handle business, man. We got our own future in the palm of our hands, cause divided